Hi, it's Allie with Seattle Coffee Gear, and today we are reviewing the Ratio 6 brewer. This is a new brewer for us, but the Ratio brand has been around for a while. They're more well known for the Ratio 8 coffee maker, but today we're reviewing the Ratio 6. This is basically their thermal carafe version of that. So it's going to come with a dual-walled thermal carafe. You also get a flat bottom basket. So I'm going to take this apart. So your carafe is the bottom here. 40 ounces is how much this one will brew. So pretty much a full pot, 8 cups will fill to the brim. And then you do have your brewing mechanism on the top, or your brew basket. It's gonna be a flat bottom filter. I just ground this, and I'm gonna do 70 grams of coffee for a full batch here, but it fits pretty well, plenty of space in there to brew. And then you actually have a little lid here as well. The lid will protect from hot water, spraying out everywhere. So they just sit on top of each other. No real lock, which I kind of wish they did have a lock. It is kind of satisfying once it sits on top. Doesn't move around too much, but I do recommend putting it into your basket with 2 hands, just so you don't knock anything over. One of the nice things about this brewer in particular is the beautiful beautiful materials it's made out of. So this is actually all stainless steel, and then BPA-free plastic and borosilicate glass are what are going to be touching your actual water there. And so you can see it's a pretty simple design, not too much going on. It actually only has one sort of key touch point. I won't call it a button because it doesn't press, but I think that's actually pretty cool of it. So when you pick up the lid and for the water tank here, you access that in. It's not removable, which I would say is a little bit of a here or there depending on who you are, but you will need to fill it up, from like a pitcher or something like that. Just goes in here. It can brew half pots. I have tried both the full pot and the half pot feature, and they do both just as well. And another thing that this machine has is a bloom feature. So both for the full and the half, you'll get a bloom for your coffee, and then it'll brew the rest of the water and even let you know when it's done. So up here, up front, these are actually my little light indicators. So this would be your little touchpad here. And I think, yeah, you can see the lights come to life when I touch that. Nothing underneath there, so you're not going to see anything happen yet, which is a nice safety feature, of course. So you're not brewing on top of your hand or something like I would have done just then. Underneath here, you actually have a really nice dispersion screen. It's pretty wide. I'd say it's about like 3 inches, maybe 2 inches in diameter. And that's going to get across your whole brew bed here. So that's super nice. So pretty simple in features. Mostly what this is going to have going for it is how great of a cup of coffee it brews. So I'm going to brew up a pot here of the Intelligentsias Borealis, which is a blend between Colombia, Ethiopia, and Peru. So I haven't had this coffee before. I'm really excited to try it. Smells fantastic. Just going to slip it in here. And then you're going to see me hit brew here, or just basically just barely touch it. There's no press. You just have to pass your finger in front of it, and it's going to let you know what it's doing here. I'm also a big fan of watching it rise through here. As you see the heat being applied to the water, you're going to start to see it rise up through here. It always does like a pretty bubble experience. A lot of other brewers do that as well. I think this one's something the way that it brews, it just a little prettier. It does pull a lot of a lot of power, 1400 watts. So I did pop my breaker when I was running this along with my espresso machine, so watch out for that. But it's going to brew 40 ounces of full pot in about 10 minutes. It does take a little bit longer than some other brewers I've used, but I feel like that's a good thing. So I'm going to finish letting this brew. You can kind of see it doing its bloom here, and we'll come back once it's finished doing its thing, and we'll try it out. Okay, so we're back, and we've let our coffee brew. It did take around about 10 minutes or so for the full pot. Basically what it does though for the bloom cycle is for a full pot, it will do the first 2 cups worth of water for the bloom, pause, and then finish the rest. For a half pot, it'll do about 1 cup bloom, do the rest. So we did a full pot here. If you can see, the little indicator light is blinking that it's ready. As soon as I take this off, there's actually a magnet on the bottom that lets it know when it is sitting there, but as soon as I take it off, basically it'll go back to just being blank, so you can do another batch of coffee if you wanted, or but it won't once you stick it back on, it won't say ready anymore. So once you take this off, lift this up, there's no shutoff valve, so there's no interrupt or anything like that on this brewer. You're gonna wanna let it do a full pot, but that makes the coffee taste better anyway. It does come with a little tray, so after you're done, let that cool off. You still get your pot of coffee here. Also, another thing, you can't pour this without having the lid on, which is a little frustrating, but you need that lid on anyway to keep the coffee hot. So, got our thermal carafe here. Doesn't pour unless, a little bit of water left over. It doesn't pour unless I let it go. It smells pretty good. I know it's gonna be hot too, so. Yep, burn my tongue a little bit. Good though, so it brews really hot, so no worries about that part. Gosh, it's so hard. It's hard for me to taste it right. Super good coffee though. I think it tastes really chocolatey. Kind of got a lemon thing going on there. Let's see what they say. Caramel, pomegranate, and orange. More caramel than the pomegranate and the orange, I would say. For me, that's how this is coming off at least. But very good. Very satisfying. I have really enjoyed having this coffee pot at my house the last couple of days while I've been testing it out. My husband has also very much enjoyed the coffee product off of it, and he's not usually a coffee drinker. So I'm going to give this a pretty good review. I think it makes great coffee. A few little things I wish could be different, like the carafe, I think has a little bit going on to it that I wish could see different, but I think it's all worth it for the product of coffee that comes out. It's not going to give you a lot of functions, a lot of features, no mid interrupt, but I think the final product is totally worth it. So yeah, and then, in the box, they don't give you too much either, but you do have their own branded coffee maker cleaner. So that's for descaling and that sort of thing. You also get a polish rag here to keep this looking as nice as it does right now, and a small little user manual, mostly going over like the general basics of the machine, nothing too crazy in there. Whole bunch of different languages though. So yeah, that is the Ratio 6 coffee brewer. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below what you think about this, and we will see you next time. Cheers.